Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. My name is Kelsey Stalker. I am the program assistant for the Fire Adapted Communities program at the Tahoe Resource Conservation District. And tonight we are doing our Meet the Conservancy webinar. So this is going to be a brief introduction to the California Tahoe Conservancy, consisting of a short question and answer session. The Conservancy team will respond to some of the most common questions they receive, followed by an open forum for additional questions from community members. So this webinar is being recorded and it will be posted on the Tahoe Living with Fire YouTube page. Tonight we are joined by the Fire Adapted Communities team. We have Jason Brand, our program manager, Michelle McLean, our program coordinator, and Kat Lanham, our climate resiliency fellow. And then, of course, we have the California Tahoe Conservancy folks with us too. Milan Yates, the community forestry program supervisor, and Jen Miller, the forest management specialist. So as we go forward into the question and answer session, feel free, people attending, to send questions in the chat. We are going to answer those at the end. So without further ado, I think I'll pass it along to Michelle, who's going to be asking the questions.
Good evening. So I'm going to move right into the questions. And the first question, I think this one's from Milan. What is the California Tahoe Conservancy?
All right, thanks, Michelle. So the California Tahoe Conservancy is a state of California agency established in 1984. The Conservancy's mission is to lead California's efforts to restore and enhance the extraordinary natural and recreational resources of the Lake Tahoe Basin. The Conservancy, and this is kind of just in general as a whole for the Conservancy, we manage 4,700 individual state properties, about 6,900 acres in total on the California side of the basin. Thousands of those are open space parcels, that are scattered within residential subdivisions. Along with, we also have wetlands and meadows, larger forested properties, and public beaches and recreation sites. We implement environmental restoration projects and other projects to enhance public access and recreation on our sites. We also fund a lot of partner projects in the basin to advance the Lake Tahoe Environmental Improvement Program. And so that's more of the Conservancy kind of in general as a whole. We have a lot of programs and projects in place. Tonight's webinar, we're focusing on our forestry program, which both Jen and I are part of. So with that being said, we can move to the next slide. We have a short video that covers a lot of the information. Play it. Kelsey, no audio.
California Tahoe Conservancy is a state agency that owns and manages approximately 4,700 parcels on the California side of the basin. A lot of these parcels were purchased in the early 1990s to stem some of the overdevelopment that was happening in the basin. Around the same time, the Lake Tahoe Basin Management Unit of the U.S. Forest Service was engaged in a similar program, resulting in a patchwork ownership of public-owned parcels within the residential subdivisions themselves. The California Tahoe Conservancy and the U.S. Forest Service entered into a Good Neighbor Authority agreement that allows the Conservancy to include the U.S. Forest Service in our active treatments. We found that these comprehensive community projects that include both state and federal ownership are the best way to prepare the community for wildfire, as well as to protect forest health, water quality, and wildlife habitat.
One other thing that's important to note is that these open space treatments not only protect communities from wildfire, these treatments also build resilience into our forests to better withstand climate change, insects and disease, and drought.
All right, it was a little skippy on my end, but hopefully it served its purpose there.
Thank you so much, Milan. Okay, moving on. Why is forest management so important?
All right. So forest management, and a lot of this again was touched on in the video, but forest management projects are important in maintaining forest health, reducing wildfire risk, and protecting public safety. Most conservancy properties are forested and found within the wildland urban interface or the area where communities and forests intersect. Next slide, please.
So next question, what do your projects tend to look like?
Awesome. We design our vegetation projects on our smaller neighborhood parcels to complement state and local mandated defensible space requirements on the residential properties. The Conservancy designs these hazardous fuels reduction projects on our larger properties adjacent to the neighborhoods to protect communities from fires originating in the wildland that could move into the neighborhoods and vice versa. So we have a lot of larger ownership that's adjacent to the communities, and the treatments are more focused directly adjacent to the communities.
And then one of the questions we do get asked a lot is, when do you actually complete fuel reduction work?
Okay. So we're active year round on projects to improve wildfire resilience and community risk reduction. During the warmer months in the summertime, we implement the fuel hazard reduction projects on the public land. So that's like here in the picture, a lot of the cutting and piling and chipping happens in the summer. We've been working on our conservancy parcels. We also, as I said in the video, have a good neighbor authority agreement with the U.S. Forest Service Lake Tahoe Basin Management Unit to be able to include the Forest Service owned vacant parcels in our comprehensive treatments, providing even more of a comprehensive treatment for the neighborhood. And then during the winter and fall and cooler winter months, we join other Tahoe Fire and Fuels team partners with pile burning as the final stage of the fuels reduction.
Thank you. And then how often are your properties treated?
Okay. So again, we have, different treatment types, and everything is kind of site specific based on the vegetation and, different other factors that play into that. For properties that are thin by hand, kind of our hand thinning projects, most of the residential stuff that we have inside the communities, the treatments are about every 10 years, about every 10 to 15 years. For our larger, the stuff I was talking about, the WUI projects or the mechanical projects that we do adjacent to the communities, those are more on like a 15 or 20 year cycle. We inspect our properties, all of our properties, at least every 2 years. We welcome reports from the community members on issues on our land. I think we'll touch on it later, but we do have an option on our website for you to report an issue if you see one. And then that way it gets logged and sent to the appropriate staff. Let me think about this a little bit more here. I think I covered most of it. We do, that 10 to 15 year window for the neighborhood projects is kind of a general average. There's definitely times where the projects have taken a little bit longer or come a little bit quicker.
Thank you so much, Milan. Next question. I think we're moving on to Jen at this point. What current projects are you working on?
Sure. Thanks, Michelle. I have quite a list here of all this great work we're doing currently, and then also some up and coming projects that I can speak on. So I'm going to reference this list I have. Right now, we're working on the Lions Ranch project. It's in the Golden Bear neighborhood area. It's in implementation phase, and it's in the hand thin aspect of that project. This is on Conservancy property only. The total project area is 132 acres, of which 33 acres is hand thin and 99 acres is mechanical. 13 acres currently are completed there for hand thinning, and then implementation for the mechanical piece could begin as soon as fall of 2026. On the West Shore, we're currently working on the Tahoma Urban project. It's also in implementation phase. We're treating multiple ownerships, including Conservancy, El Dorado County properties, and also U.S. Forest Service properties. It's a total of 35.8 acres, 164 parcels. On the South Shore, we're working in the Sawmill Echo View Estates area. This is also a hand thin project on Forest Service and Conservancy property. Total of 28
acres, 31 parcels. The next project is North Upper Truckee project, also in South Shore. It's on Forest Service and Conservancy property, a total of 164 acres, 536 parcels, and completed to date, that project has completed 486 parcels and 145 acres. Also ongoing all the time, we're doing hazard tree mitigation. We get notification from the public, or we have a hazard tree employee who identifies and then sets up a contract to remove trees that pose a threat to private property, some, trees that have a target. Like infrastructure. And these trees are either reported by the public, like I said, or staff during routine parcel inspection or project preparation. All of our staff and publicly reported hazard trees are assessed by the Conservancy arborist for determination if it's a true hazard or not. Sometimes you might see some dead trees in the forest that don't have a target, and we would leave some of those as snags in the forest for wildlife purposes. But if they have a target, we do have a mitigation channel for that. So upcoming future projects, we have some seasonal forestry aids, and they're preparing projects for implementation in both El Dorado and Placer counties, and also in the city of South Lake Tahoe. We have the Elks up and coming is Elks Club fuel hazard reduction. The Kings Beach, that's 103 acres. The Kings Beach fuel hazard reduction, 23 acres. Probably that one might be 2027 implementation. Mandan fuel hazard reduction, 118 acres. And that one looks like possibly next year. And Bunker to 267 fuel hazard reduction. That one includes both Forest Service and Conservancy, 75 acres. We're prepping it this year for likely implementation of next year. All right, a lot of good work going on. So just wanted to showcase that and show you that we're working on current projects, but we also, are actively prepping projects for the future. So
thanks for that, Jen. That was a great update for myself.
great.
Moving on, what partners do you work with?
We work with a lot of partners. We work with the Forest Service, the Washoe tribe, some state partners, obviously community members like some of you that are on tonight, local fire districts. We also are heavily involved with the Tahoe Fire and Fuels Team, which is a coalition of local, state, and federal fire agencies, land managers, and other partners working together to reduce wildfire risk and protect Tahoe communities, forests, and watersheds. The partners in the TFF, we call the Tahoe Fire and Fuels Team the TFFT. Every member plays a vital role. We plan and execute fuels reduction projects, and also engaging with the public on wildfire preparedness. The team is organized into specialized working groups that focus on public education, on-the-ground project implementation, and promoting fire-adapted communities, which is a nationwide approach to living more safely with wildfire. Thank you.
Okay. What do the collaborations look like with those partners?
Well, this collaboration is really built into the projects that we prep and implement. So when we implement fuel reduction projects on our land, on state land, we often include federal and local public land in the treatment. For example, one of our current projects on the West Shore in Tahoma right now, like I mentioned before, we're treating Forest Service lands, county lands, and also conservancy lands. So it's a multi-jurisdictional, multi-ownership project. So the Conservancy leads California's funding role in advancing the Lake Tahoe Environmental Improvement Program, the EIP. This includes awarding grant funding to partners to plan and implement their own projects to improve wildfire resilience. Like I said, we do issue grants, and we issue them to local public agencies, including cities, counties, state agencies, federal agencies, one of them, the Tahoe Transportation District for a local partner, and also federally recognized Native American tribes and nonprofit organizations. We also, like I mentioned, do with that Good Neighbor Authority program, we do work on multiple ownerships, like I mentioned earlier.
And then what does your relationship with the Washoe Tribe of Nevada look like?
We work with we do great work with the tribe. We do a lot of collaboration. We consult with and partner with the tribe, the Washoe Tribe of Nevada in California, and also other Native American tribes around the basin. We are working on opportunities with them for stewardship, exclusive access, and land back. Recent grants from the Conservancy have supported the Washoe Tribe's leadership in efforts to improve forests, watershed, and wildfire resilience. And I also just wanted to mention that we do have two Washoe tribal crews who are working on some of our current projects that we're implementing around the basin that I mentioned earlier.
And then final question, where can people go to learn more about the Conservancy?
Yeah, great. The best place to go is our website. There it is on the screen. I wanted to mention something that Milan mentioned earlier. There's a way to report issues on Conservancy land. If you go to the Contact Us button on the website, you can enter in any issue that you might notice, and then it will get routed to the appropriate staff, and we always follow up on that. Things like hazard trees are a big one that we definitely want the public to let us know about. And then also, if you see us working in the field, because we're out in the neighborhoods, say hi and feel free to ask us questions. I talk to the public every day, and it's always great to meet the neighbors and have that good relationship.
Thank you, Jen. So, Kelsey, do you want to take over, moving into the question and answer session?
Sure. Let's look at the chat here. We have a question from William. Do you offer services in Nevada?
Hi, William. I'll take that. No, William, unfortunately, we do not offer services in Nevada. We are a state of California agency, and our jurisdiction is essentially the state line here, whatever, down here, the state line down here at State Line up to Brockway Summit inside of the basin on the California side.
All right. Any other questions? If you have questions, feel free to unmute and go ahead and ask or type it in the chat. It's up to you. Give just a few minutes.
I have a question. So, how big is the Conservancy? I mean, you partner with many. How many are part of your team? And do you each have your own areas that you cover? Because Tahoe's huge, of course, South Lake and all that. I was curious as to how big the team is.
Okay. More information on our website for that for sure. Our individual forestry team is comprised of about 5 permanent staff. And I believe there's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40 staff at the agency in total.
Okay.
I could maybe piggyback on that. Forestry is just one of our programs. I just pulled up the website because I haven't memorized all of them. We have also land management, recreation and public access, Tahoe livable communities, and water quality and watersheds. And there, like Milan said, a lot more information is presented on the website. And if you are curious, you can find out more there.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. We got a comment. Scott likes your firewood tracker.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks, Scott. So that is something that we didn't mention here, but it's worth mentioning. As part of these hand thin projects that we do in the neighborhoods, we do leave the firewood. We have the bollwood from the trees that are primarily firewood size cut up into firewood lengths, and those are left on site for public collection. It's free of charge. You can collect up to 2 cords for personal use. You cannot collect it and resell it. Again, our website's so handy. Everything is available on our website. You can download the permit. It's basically a transportation permit saying that you got it from the Conservancy property. What the comment is referring to is we do have a map on there that should let you know how long, where the firewood is located on our 4,700 individual parcels. And yeah, it's a first come first serve kind of thing. There's no guarantees, but if you do burn firewood, it's a great deal, and it helps us help you.
A little plug for our Tahoe. Oh, sorry, I interrupted somebody.
Yeah.
It was me. I was just going to say your website is really good. It's really well done because I have been looking at it a lot lately. So I would definitely go on there and check it out.
What I was going to mention about the firewood, I was going to give a little plug for the Tahoma Urban Project with the 148 parcels. We're about halfway through. It's pretty roadside, and I update that fuel wood map like on the daily. So go get your free permits. Go get some wood on the West Shore. There's lots of lodgepole up there. Great firewood.
Awesome. That's a really cool program. All right, we have a question. Do you cooperate with individual Firewise communities or just with larger public agencies?
Yeah, both. We do cooperate with local Firewise communities. That's part of us being on this call today or this webinar. As we were invited by the fire adapted communities to come speak on some of our collaboration. So yes, again, I would encourage you, if that's the case, to reach out to probably Michelle, and then Michelle will put you in touch with Jen over here. Really, it's probably the best bet. But yeah, if you are a Firewise community leader and you want more information, just go directly to Michelle. That would be awesome. Or our website. You can go to both.
I can put our email in here so people can have that.
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming. This has been a really awesome, informative webinar. At the Fire Adapted Communities program, we collaborate with a lot of conservation organizations like the CTC. So very happy to do this, get the word out about your awesome programs. And yeah, here on the screen are our links. So Tahoe Living with Fire is our brand for social media and our website and YouTube page here. So we will get this video posted on our YouTube page and then out on social media as well. Tag the CTC and just get it out there for people to see. So if there's no other comments or questions, I think I might wrap it up. And again, thank everyone for coming and have a great night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great, safe holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.